Meatballs and tomato sauce, an Italian classic. This Italian grandma's recipe makes 22 to 25 meatballs. Let's gather our ingredients. For the ground meat base, you'll need 300 grams of ground pork, 200 grams of ground beef, 50 grams of mortadella, and 1 German-style sausage. So-called Italian sausage isn't actually popular in most regions of Italy. A good German-style sausage is closer in flavor to the sausage enjoyed in most Italian recipes. You will also need salt and black pepper to taste, a quarter teaspoon of freshly ground nutmeg, 2 eggs, 2 to 3 tablespoons of Parmigiano Reggiano, 1 tablespoon of minced parsley, 1 clove of garlic, and 2 potatoes boiled and mashed, and breadcrumbs as needed to coat the meatballs. For the sauce, you'll need 2 cans of crushed tomatoes, and of course you'll need oil for frying the meatballs. Our grandma likes to use peanut oil. To make the meatballs, mix together the ground meats, and add a teaspoon of fine salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, a 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground nutmeg,
questo è pepe e questa è noce moscata. Adesso do una prima girata.
And mix the ingredients well. Add 2 to 3 tablespoons of Parmigiano Reggiano and 2 eggs beaten. Add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt to the eggs themselves.
Lo metto qui dentro.
Add 1 fresh clove of garlic, grated or mashed to a fine paste.
Ci aiutiamo con una forchetta.
A tablespoon of minced fresh parsley, and about 250 grams of potatoes boiled, mashed, with a drizzle of olive oil.
Adesso aggiungiamo le 2 patate schiacciate.
And give the whole thing a really good mix. Hands work great here, and feel free to use a powder-free glove if you don't like touching raw meat. At this point, Grandma smells the mixture to confirm that the balance of seasonings is correct. Cover and let the mixture rest for at least 2 to 3 hours, preferably overnight. This will give the mixture a chance to develop its flavor. Form the mixture into balls of about 30 grams each. In the end, you should have 22 to 25 meatballs. Cover each meatball well with a layer of fine breadcrumbs.
Diamo un'altra giratina.
At this point, you can either fry or bake the meatballs. If you prefer a lighter meatball, line the meatballs up on a parchment paper covered cookie sheet. Drizzle with olive oil and bake at 350 degrees for at least 20 minutes. Today, Grandma will be frying the meatballs. To fry the meatballs, bring a skillet of peanut oil to temperature. Grandma uses a toothpick to determine when the oil has reached the right temperature. If vigorous bubbles form around an inserted toothpick, Grandma knows the oil is ready for frying. Grandma places a cork in the oil in order to reduce the foam coming from the frying meatballs. We're not sure about this logic, but we don't argue with grandmas, especially when the meatballs are this good. Place about 12 meatballs into the oil and fry over low heat until golden brown. You can cut a meatball open in order to check if the meatball is done. Transfer all meatballs to a paper towel lined surface. You'll probably need to fry the meatballs in about 2 batches. Time to make the sauce. Grandma uses what's called a sugo finto for her meatball sauce. Sugo finto means fake sauce and refers to a tomato sauce without meat. To make the sugo finto, Grandma adds a few tablespoons of olive oil, 1 clove of fresh garlic, 2 cans of quality crushed tomatoes, and later salt. Bring the sauce to simmer over medium heat. Then simmer vigorously for 5 minutes. Add fine salt to taste, and if you like, a 1/4 teaspoon of red chili pepper. Add the fried or baked meatballs to the sauce.
E adesso mettiamo le polpette. Come si vede, il sugo deve essere abbondante di copre. Si sente se c'è ancora spazio.
And simmer the meatballs for 15 minutes over low heat. Even if your meatballs were entirely done before being added to the sauce, the extra 15 minutes of cook time should ensure doneness. Most Italians eat meatballs by themselves, but feel free to enjoy them with spaghetti. E buon appetito! Subscribe below for more recipes like this from Italy and beyond.